Oh, I love it.
Dad joke. I have one. You do not.
Forgot.
I
I missed my homework, Mr. Sammons.
So the other day I got a hold of the paranoia hotline number, and I gave it a call, and the guy was like, "How'd you get this number?" Welcome. Thanks for joining us for August. I think we're having some storms rolling in here right now. I think that's the time of year where it's super hot and humidity. And we get these nice little storms. And if you have a nice little back porch where the storm can roll in and you can just kind of watch it, those are the best.
Well, for those that are watching this, they don't have a good back porch. I know somebody that can sell you a house that has one.
Yes. And if you don't want to buy one, I have contractors that can build one.
There you go. Perfect. And I can finance it.
You can finance it with a nice HELOC or a second-rate mortgage.
There you go. But as you know, we normally start with the dad jokes. As a father, I have to mention my grass needs the rain. So
yeah,
I'm happy with it.
It's every day. Yeah, mine does not need the rain, but it's going to get it. I planted a bunch of stuff around the house that needs it because we got some Irish mosses and some we want some spreaders, some lamb's tongue, things like that. We need it to start picking up.
I prefer Randy Moss over Irish Moss.
Not in the garden, though.
Oh,
he's not much of a gardener. Yeah. I bet you didn't know that little fact that Randy Moss does not like the garden. Don't fact check me. Hey, we're going to go through. We're maintaining our theme of still like a pretty steady market. We're seeing the slow growth. We're seeing buyers making slow, good decisions. We're seeing here a couple of multiple offers here and there, but not really as many. Like August is usually the doldrums. Like it's usually kind of a little drag as we get to the school year, and then we see a little bump after the school year starts up. But we're trying to educate. We're going to go over some topics and things we're seeing in the market right now. One of which I believe you're seeing with pre-approvals. It's more important now than ever to get a full, a real pre-approval to see your numbers, to know what you're getting into. Because if you are ready to make an offer and you don't know what your numbers look like, it's not you're not doing your homework.
We've seen clients get into a situation, get under contract, to then be educated on their numbers and then want to back out because it's too.
Seen a lot of it.
Yeah. So here's the story, and this is the reason why we're talking about it. I had a client come to me secondhand from a referral source. They had been pre-qualified with a big bank, one of the biggest banks in the country, that everybody would know the name if I said it, but I won't. Submitted an application online. She said, here's my name, this is how much money I'm making, this is how much money I have in XYZ accounts. They spat out a pre-qual letter that had a $750 purchase price, 20% down, which is $150,000. And that was it. Go make an offer. What they didn't realize was the bank assumed that the 401k she put on her application was her source of funds. The problem was
that's not.
She already had a 401k loan against that asset. You can't take two 401k loans. So I got a hold of it. I ran numbers at a 5% down. Sent her the payment, sent her the closing costs, and she was completely unaware that the closing costs were even a requirement. She was unaware that the monthly payment would be what it is, including taxes, insurance, and she goes, I got to take a step back.
This is somebody that already owned a home, too.
Already owned a home.
So you don't buy a house every year. Totally get it. So you do something once every 5 to 7 years. You're going to have to be re-educated. There's no way you remember the entire process. Totally get it. So the fact that she didn't know that there was closing help and all those things isn't surprising.
I mean, inflation has also hit the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
Not just in rates. Credit reports are significantly more expensive than they've ever been. Appraisals, title fees, property taxes are going up. Insurance is going up. So if she bought her house probably 10, 15 years ago, it was a much cheaper time to buy a house for third-party reasons. And when I first got in the business in 2012, or maybe around that time was probably when she bought, sellers on most deals were paying buyers closing costs.
Yeah.
So she probably forgot that they even existed.
Maybe she got help and things like that. So so the difference between you and the big bank when it comes to pre-qual and go.
The biggest difference is this office right here. You come here, you sit it down in the seat, I put it on the screen and I show you here are the costs. And we go through different price points. I did it yesterday. Young couple, not first-time home buyers. They bought a house before. They're in their late 20s, maybe 30ish. So some people go, well, the millennials and Gen Zers, they don't want to meet in person. They want to do everything on the phone. They don't want to talk to anybody. They met in person. We went over everything. They are empowered and ready to make an offer. 4 o'clock today, same deal. Young couple, own a townhome, want to sell it, want to buy another one. You'd assume they've been through it before. They don't need that hand holding. They want it.
Yeah.
They want, and I'm urging them to do that. I want them to be so prepared, whether they make an offer at 550, 600, 700, whatever it is, that they know exactly what their costs are going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, AI is good for a lot of things, but not niching down your personal situation is not one of them.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
And in both scenarios, I'll look at them and say, okay, you're going to sell this house. This is how much you're going to net. AI is not going to say, well, you have this credit card. You want to pay that off with your net proceeds? Or this house that you're going to buy, is there something that you're going to need 10 grand for on the house that you bought?
Yeah.
You're going to want to put a deck on the house, what have you. So there's a plethora of things to talk about in every scenario. You can't discount that.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, one of the things you talked about was the cost of appraisals. That's another thing I'm seeing coming up. There's two, we'll talk about this first. There's two different phases once you're buying. The home inspection process and the appraisal process, and they're separate. Two totally different things, right? The home inspection process is you hire a home inspector, and they go through the house, turn on switches, make sure everything's working, check the roof, septic, all the things that you need to be done. And then you negotiate any possible repairs or items. If you've already chatted with a Tim and you know what your numbers look like, if you have a little bit of flexibility, if something small comes up, you're like, listen, that's a negotiating tool for me. I won't ask for some of these small things because I know I have a little bit of money. Or that you're strapped and you got to ask for these things. Like, I need some electrician to go through and switch some outlets. I need you to give me some money to do that. Or I need you to bring in a contractor to do that. Knowing your numbers is the only way to properly negotiate those inspections.
Absolutely. And I think it's important for a buyer to know, especially someone that's never been through the process. The home inspection is for the buyer.
Yeah.
To know what defects, if any, are going on with this house and whether or not they want to address them prior to closing. The appraisal is the lender's tool to see not only is the house worth what you're paying, but are there any major safety concerns?
Yeah.
Two different lenses. Home inspection, they're going to look at every little detail. A broken doorknob is going to be flagged. Maybe you don't need to address it. But an appraisal might say, hey, you have a staircase on the back of that
they do those
house that doesn't have a railing. That's a safety hazard, and you have to cure that.
Yeah. So the appraisal part, most of the things I see are like you said, they do handrails a lot. They'll do paint, chipping.
Chip paint.
They do that a lot. Limbs, I see that quite a bit. Things that they believe are going to be latent, they're going to be issues with the causing damage to the house because they look at it differently. Now, that's the other negotiating point, right? If you get the appraisal in, and the numbers are under, let's say you make an offer at 500,000, but the appraiser comes in and says it's worth 480, then you're all sitting back to the table. You're going over that again. Who's coming up with that extra $20,000? Is the seller coming down? Is the buyer coming up? Are you meeting in the middle? Is there closing costs or already being paid for? Are you taking that? You really got to sit down. So that is a huge factor. Now, what buyers often don't know is that your property is the appraisal. The seller will never see it unless there's a problem.
Yeah. If it underappraises, then you might have to divulge.
You have to share.
Yeah, correct. The other thing to kind of, pay attention to is if you're representing a seller, you're selling a house.
Yeah.
And this buyer comes in, you listed it at 475. This buyer comes in and goes, I'll pay 525 for your house. Who's going to come up with that 50 grand difference if it doesn't appraise? So if you're selling a house, you want that reassurance that that buyer isn't just going to come back 2 weeks later and go, actually, I know I offered 525, but it's worth 475. Sorry, that's the price I want to pay for it.
Yeah, and it's a tool, right? So some buyer's agents will throw that offer in there, knowing or hoping that the selling agent won't be paying attention and just take the higher offer and not have any contingency plans in case it does come down. As far as you and I talk about it pretty frequently, we deal with appraisers pretty frequently. It's kind of a wild card. Some will flag certain things and they have certain tendencies. Some will call if they have some issues and things and discuss it. Some will just give you the report and whatever. So it's really a mixed bag, and you have no ability really to choose.
So we can't choose who gets the appraisal job specifically, but we do have a very short list of appraisers that we deal with, except for VA. VA has their own list. But conventional FHA, USDA, we have our own branch preferred list, and they are local appraisers. You know their names. You've
Yeah.
dealt with them before. And because they are kind of somewhat clients of ours, they have partnership because we feed them business. Sometimes they'll give us that courtesy call. Hey, this house, I don't think I'm going to be able to come to value on this. I'm just giving you a heads up before I submit the report that we're going to come in $77,000 light. You might want to get that conversation started. And then it's a much softer intro to the agent because you've had a conversation with the appraiser rather than with a big bank. You never know who the appraiser is. They upload the report and then they go into hiding.
And then you're dealt the hand of having to deal with it and fix all the problems.
Correct.
Now, the other good part is, dear buyer, dear seller, make sure you find an agent who's dealt with all these things before. Because if you have somebody who sells 2 houses a year and it's a friend of a friend, and they come across this, that situation is going to be very stressful. Versus somebody who's dealt with it multiple times. We've dealt with it way too many times. And knows this is what you do, X, Y, Z. Here's the plan. Here's your options. Here's the things we can do. And then hand it over to a lender that can say, all right, here's our numbers now. Here's some scenarios where we can resolve this appraisal or home inspection repair list. Like, there's lots of different options. So don't panic if something comes in that is not smooth. But it can be dealt with.
Somebody like, that you're preferring, a professional. Let's just talk Billy, right? He's sitting right next to me for a reason.
I know him.
Yeah. You kind of have to understand that if a deal comes in and the appraisal does come in short, the buyer is going to be very adamant. Well, the appraisal came in short. I'm not paying that number for it.
Yeah.
But the seller has now looked at a higher net sheet, and they now expected to make $100,000 off their sale. Just use round number.
Hard to backtrack.
To backtrack and now say, actually, you're only going to make 85. That hurts.
That's
painful. So you need somebody like Billy that's going to have those tough conversations and try to work to make the numbers work for everybody, right?
Yeah. And if they don't, dear buyer, again, don't worry, you're protected. So if worst case and things cannot be worked out and it's at 475 and nothing can be agreed upon, you're protected. You can actually move on from that deal and do something, go elsewhere. That's not our preferred method. Our preferred method is to try to find some solutions because obviously you like that house and you made an offer and you spent money on inspections and you're invested.
Yeah.
But worst case, you can move on.
I mean, those are your sunken costs, right? Is your home inspection, the appraisal fee. So if it's worth you to burn $2,000, let's say, to walk away from that purchase, that's your prerogative. But we will always try to make it work.
Yep. So there you go. So those are some of the things we've been saying. Making sure you get your pre-approval and know your numbers. That's vital. Being sure you know the next step is going to be the home inspection and that there's a lot of negotiating elements to that. Things can come up. Again, making sure you have a lender that you know your numbers because otherwise it's tougher to go through that home inspection with knowledge of where you stand. And then, of course, the appraisal. Those are the 3 scenarios that I think we are dealing the most with right now with our buyers.
Yeah, I think that we're at this point in the market where sellers are maybe reaching for numbers that are no longer there. There's been a slight market correction because you see some price adjustments here or there.
Yep.
And maybe sometimes the comparables are not supporting it. So we've had some slight appraisal issues here and there. We've been able to work them all out for the most part. So it's an interesting time in the market, I'd say.
It is, and it's taking a little more time, which I'm fine with in the sense that there's more education taking place. People are asking more questions. They're looking over their options more. It's kind of like a over-education phase right now.
The amount of clients that have come in here and said, we're preparing for next year, but we want to be ready in case the house pops up tomorrow. It's like, okay, it's either tomorrow or next year. People are just very uncertain of their timeline.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I try to always make my first appointment with new clients at a house so that way I can get a feel for like, oh, you don't want a living room that's closed in, or you have to have certain bedrooms. Like meeting in an office is great. We like to do numbers here, but I also like to meet at houses as frequently as I can because then you get a sense of what they're really looking for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And and new buyers don't know until they start walking through and making comments.
Yeah. And
so they walk through, you're like, oh yeah, this kitchen is like, all right, cool. Noted. No closed kitchens. We have to have a nice open space. Like you just kind of, and until they see it, they don't really know. So I like to do that as much as possible.
And same with them coming to the office to talk numbers.
Yeah.
When they say, you know what, I'd really like my payment to be under $1,500 a month. Okay. What type of house are you looking for? I don't know. Our Redfin is set for Realtor, whatever the MLS.
Oh, you said that.
Sorry, my bad.
Swear words.
Set to
Billy's website said
$450. There you go. Well, Billy has us set at $450. Okay, well, $450 and $1,500 a month payment are way far away from one another. So let's try to meet in the middle somewhere.
Yep. So yeah, so with all the resources we have, we really help you out. And then he and I actually have the buyer's video series that actually you can get for free. That takes you step by step all the way through the process, 1 through 9. So you can do that, and you can go back, watch it a million times. I always brag that I have the most educated buyers in the market because they get the video series first, and they sit down with Tim and get all the numbers. And then, of course, I try to teach them along the way all the different options they have and discuss that stuff with them. So
I can reinforce it.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
And I used to be a teacher way back in the day, so it kind of goes hand in hand, the teaching and the real estate with the teaching and there you go. So
I love it. Speaking of,
just grading less essays.
oh, that's
Way less essays.
no more red. You don't even have a red pen anymore, do you?
No, just blue. Everything's got to be signed in blue.
That's right. That's right. So completely off topic, but
yeah, do it.
We have some cool establishments coming to North Beach and Chesapeake Beach soon, don't we?
Yeah, we helped do the Flint Arcade lease. Actually, that one is coming up here soon.
Be cool.
That's a good one. Those gentlemen, their sister companies, Dusk and Willow, right there on Main Street there.
Yeah.
And so the husband and some of his friends of that'll be a cool one.
Like
it's
a
really fun.
barcade type deal.
It's gonna be a barcade.
Ooh,
Yeah, I saw the paper in the windows today. They actually blocked the windows off.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
that's fantastic. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So maybe an event there soon.
It's gonna happen. Well, actually, we have an event this Saturday that Mr. Sisson has sponsored too. Because I like to try to do as much charity as I can. I used to do monthly. The team size has come down a little bit, so the manpower is diminished a little bit. But I try to do at least 3 to 6 of them. So the putt one will be this Saturday. Tim is a sponsor. You come in anytime between 10 and 3. Register your team. I'd love to do it online if you can, but if you're like, I'm not sure, come anyway. At any time between 10 and 3. The winner gets a free year of golf, putt golf, whole year.
That's the place in Prince Frederick. What's it called again?
K&K.
K&K.
The putt. Actually, Alamar's got one sort of, but they don't really do much with it.
Yeah.
They kind of do.
It's
not like this one.
In the spirit of putt, that's our putt course. Yeah.
So yeah, K&K, come on down. And then second place gets a $100 gift card. And I think Bull Rush is going to donate a third place card.
That's cool.
I'm working on that too.
I will be there with at least one kid, maybe 2. We'll see.
It'll be awesome. So it'll be a lot of fun. And all the money goes back to the Children's Theater. They're doing amazing things, helping the children in our community. They even include a lot of special needs children in their plays and things, which is amazing to see. Those kids just have a lot of fun doing this plays. If you haven't checked one out yet, they're really impressive.
I did a lot of musical theater as a kid, so I have a soft spot for it. So happy
He's got
to be
an
involved.
amazing voice. Randy Moss is terrible at gardening, but Tim Sisson is great at singing.
That's a video for another day.
Oh, I thought you were going to break out in song. That's crazy. All right, cool. So there's our August. Know your numbers. Know your negotiating points during the process. Be educated because we want to make sure this is the right decision for you. And that's what we do.
I love it. Good stuff.
All right, we'll see you in September, which hopefully will be a little bit cooler out. By then, football will be full swing, right?
Back to school.
Back to school, which is coming up soon. The wife actually goes back on Monday. She's teaching already.
That makes sense. Yeah, next week. Yeah.
And the kids, and then Labor Day, and then the kids head back. Labor Day is the first.
Life just flies by.
Sure does.
It's crazy.
We'll see you at the golf tournament. Thank you for Tim.
See you next month.
And we'll see you in September.